What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Droid Life Show today, episode 202. It is Friday, May 3rd. I'm your host, Kellen. With me, Tim. Tim, say hi.
Hey guys, how's it going? Tim here.
So thanks for joining us on this fabulous Friday, the weekend before Google I/O. So Google I/O is next week. So we're going to focus quite a bit on that, actually, for this show. Well, at least a little bit. Google I/O is a good time. We'll give you guys a preview of that. Good show, though. Trivia is back. So trivia always back. For those of you who are new around here, trivia at the end of the show, we have 5 questions. You get a chance, if you're listening live anyway and watching live on YouTube, you get a chance to win prizes. And this week, the fine folks at Meter are back with more prizes. Do you want to explain to everyone what Meter is for those who are new?
Yeah, so if you all haven't heard about Meter yet, it's a smart meat thermometer. Stick it in your piece of meat, stick it on the grill, and then you can check internal and external temperatures from your phone. Super handy. It's made me a better chef, but most importantly, it has made my girlfriend a better chef. She was always afraid of cooking chicken and cooking steak, especially because she can't gauge temperatures very well. She's not very good at the palm trick. I mean, I was taught by Chef Ramsay, so I know pretty much about cooking steak, but she's gotten a lot better thanks to Meter, so bless you, Meter, and bless you for giving us another 5 Meter units to give out to our readers. We've given these away before, so if you already have one, these make excellent presents.
Mother's Day presents.
Yeah, Mother's Day. Get your mama cooking. Get your daddy cooking. Save it for Father's Day. Yeah. And there's so many things you can do with a Meter. Well, I mean, there's not a lot. You can cook meat with it, but there's a lot of people you can give it to. Yeah, so gift. If you already win. So
we have 5. End of the show, trivia. Everyone who wins will get a Meter, which is a fantastic deal. We also have an announcement sort of to make. You guys have been very, 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 very nice with all of the donations lately. And I see a bunch flowing through, like PC747 before the show even started, dropped a 20 bomb and said, thanks for another show. Kellen, did you see Endgame? If not, here's the cost of a ticket. No, I did not see it. So thank you very much. Nate Clemens just dropped $2. Nick Fisher just dropped $2. Scott Washington just dropped $1 and then another $1. So the donations are absolutely fantastic. But I think I mentioned this maybe on the last show, but what we want to start doing is with donations is donating them. So you guys donate them to us, then we find organization and also do a donation from what you guys have given us, if that makes sense. So we're going to start doing that with this show. So all of the donations that have rolled in, I apologize if you guys wanted those to go directly to us, but we're going to turn around and donate those. I hope that's okay. And what we're going to do is for the next 2 months worth of donations, we're going to give to the Oregon Humane Society. So support the animals that need love right now. That's what we're going to go through first. And we'll change this up every couple of months. So Oregon Humane Society, if you want to donate to them, just donate to the show. And then in 2 months, we're just going to pool every single donation, 100% of them, and give them to the Oregon Humane Society. So we're going to do that. So while we appreciate you guys offering us beer money and stuff like that,
of course,
we're going to take the next 2 months and give it to the Humane Society so that some pups and kitties and animals and all of them can just get all the help they need. So thank you so much. So yeah, if you want to donate 100% for the next 2 months going to the Oregon Humane Society. Berger said, across the U.S., being in Portland, we're going to start just first with the local Oregon chapter of the Humane Society. But in the future, there's certainly a possibility that we'll choose charities that blanket like the entire United States, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm actually not too far away from Oregon Humane Society. I got some friends who got dogs, awesome puppies from there, and they're really good people over at OHS. So that's why we chose them for this 2 months.
Yeah, and again, we'll change it up with the first 2 months. We're gonna go with them. Somebody said donate to bring the NBA back to Seattle. I wish there was a charitable organization that would do that, and we would try to help Seattle folks out. So anyways, on with the show. But yeah, if you want to do donations, we are giving them for the next 2 months. Because it's the start of a new month, May. So, all right. In terms of topics, we're just going to start with Google I/O. So Google I/O is Google's developer conference, developer festival. They've kind of changed it to. So a few years ago, Google moved I/O from downtown San Francisco to right outside of their campus. It's actually at the Shoreline Amphitheater now. And so they call it a festival. It's outside. They set up tents. There's sun and fun and whatever. It's there again this year. So I will be there next week for Google I/O. And they spend 3 days talking about what's new on a development front from Google. Like at one time they used it to announce a whole bunch of new products and then they went away from that. Well, this year we think they might be going back to that a little bit. So it's I/O and they'll do a big keynote and they always announce like new things going on with Android and new things going on with Assistant. Like we saw, what was it, Duplex last year for the first time. So they announce all these new things they're working on. And a lot of times they don't release stuff on that day because it's stuff that's coming in the future. This one might be a little bit different. So we'll probably get a new build of Android Q, and it'll probably be the most stable of such. And I would imagine, this is just prediction time for a second, I bet you they throw in an actual dark mode. I bet we see that for the first time come to light. And I bet they change the gesture navigation finally, because they've kind of been working on these things. And I/O, they often do some big things. So I think they might do that. But so you'll get things like that. And then we expect them to announce the Pixel 3a and 3a XL. They're two mid-range phones. And they haven't done a lot of hardware at I/O in a while. And not only that, you should be able to buy the 3a and 3a XL like right when they announce it. Like it should hit the Google store. It looks like Best Buy's already got some in their back room. I think Verizon, T-Mobile, and probably like other carriers are going to have these on Tuesday. So if you want the 3A, 3A XL, which we'll talk more about in a second, that should happen. We may get the Nest Hub Max, which has been rumored, which is, well, we think they're going to rebrand the Google Home Hub to Google Nest Hub. And then we think they're going to release a big version called the Nest Hub Max. So we're going to get new hardware. It's going to be a different kind of I/O, kind of a throwback, if you will. Like, remember when we got the year they announced like the first two Android Wear watches, like the Moto 360 and that LG watch, and they would hand them out. And there was that one year we got that Samsung like Galaxy tablet. Remember that had like the special paint job on the back with all the bug droids on it? So they used to just hand out new hardware. Like, oh, we got the Nexus Q one year.
Yes,
was the Nexus Q the year that you and I like ran out of room in our suitcase because we had so much stuff?
There was a lot of stuff they gave away. Yeah.
And that thing weighed like 17 pounds. So
yeah.
So that's next week. So I/O starts Tuesday. So it goes Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And they'll announce a bunch of stuff. The first day is the big day to pay attention to. And then Wednesday they'll kind of trickle out some more news and stuff like that. So anyway, that's next week. I'll be there for that. We'll try to bring you any of the big stuff that comes out of there. So
we'll bring you all of the big stuff.
Yeah, I/O's it's very developer focused. Like there are some big announcements that come out of it, and this year again hardware related. But a lot of times it's like these little details about the way Android works, and that's just not really our expertise. But we'll give you the big stuff.
Berts are asking if we still have the Q. I think I have mine somewhere.
I definitely have it somewhere. We should bring it out. I should bring it out and hook it. No, I think they actually bricked it.
I think they killed it. Yeah,
I think they did.
Although, I mean, it's a great doorstop or paperweight.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Still lights up, maybe?
I should try to find it. It's probably just buried deeply in the closet over here. But
yeah, it's somewhere in a box.
Tempted to find it. All right, so I/O. It'll be fun. You'll definitely want to stick around and stay tuned for all of next week because it's going to be crazy. In terms of one of the announcements, though, Pixel 3a, 3a XL. These two phones have been rumored since when was the first Russia leak again? Like November or October of last year. It might have been October, actually.
It was a while ago.
Yeah, so we're pretty sure that Google's finally going to announce these things. They said there's an announcement for Pixel coming on May 7th. That's the first day I/O. We're just assuming it's the 3A and 3A XL. They've leaked everywhere. We got a pricing leak that suggested they'll start at $399 for the 3A and $479 for the 3A XL. And then we also shared with you guys a whole bunch of additional details, like images of all three colors of the device. So white, purple, and black. All angles, all sizes, all of that stuff. And then we also shared with you a bunch of the promo slides for it that says like expect the night sight mode that you've got in the Pixel 3, expect that in there. So you should have a really good camera in these 3A phones. They get like 3 years of security and OS updates. You got the unlimited Google Photos backup. You got access to screen call and all of that stuff. So we kind of think we know most of the features. We know most of the specs, 5.6 inch and 6 inch displays from small to XL, 12.2 megapixel dual pixel cameras, 4 gig RAM, 64 gig storage, 3,000 and 3,700 milliamp hour batteries. They're going to have active edge squeezy sides, fingerprint readers. The specs are almost identical to the 3 and 3 XL, except for the processor and then the display resolutions. which is kind of sad for the 3 and 3XL. You know, we were a little harsh on Google for the lack of RAM. Or I should say the readers were surely very harsh. We were definitely not that excited about only the 4 gig RAM. These phones are almost spec'd where those are, outside of the processor and then display resolution on the big guy. That's not good. So $399 and $479 though, pricing. Thoughts on that pricing combined with what we now know about specs and everything?
It's the least excited I've been for a Pixel device launch. Yeah. Hate to say it. Yeah. You know, I love the Pixel 3 XL. Don't get me wrong, but you know, overall, kind of a boring device. You know, it's just a solid Android phone with a really good camera. And I know a lot of people have been experiencing bugs lately and all this software stuff. But, you know, in terms of an overall phone, like a package, just kind of boring. Turn it into a budget phone with a less powerful processor, the same kind of RAM. I mean, it's good if you want to get people into like that smartphone photography stuff. You know, if like the camera's on par with what the big boys brought, the 3 and the 3XL, then it's a good thing to have it at a even more affordable price. But just, you know, me speaking honestly and personally, not very excited, you know, because the hardware, you know, it looks the same. There's nothing real game changing here. And I still really wonder why Google thinks that this is necessary for them to do. I just feel like budget phones, you know, I don't know what their play is. Maybe we'll figure that out next week, but I know we're going to talk about this, but apparently the Pixel 3 and 3XL didn't sell very well to begin with. So maybe they're trying to boost numbers by making something more affordable. I don't know. Maybe just make the 3 and the 3XL cheaper. You know, I don't know what their profit margins on that are. So it's really hard to say. We don't have the numbers, but
yeah, the 3 and 3XL, which have been discounted pretty regularly. Scott Washington mentions in the chat, and I was going to get to this. The point, or the big selling point, is obviously going to be the cameras. So if you go $400 for these things and you get, well, assuming it's the exact same camera, and we don't know for sure right now, but if it's the exact same camera that's in the Pixel 3 and 3XL that can produce the exact same images, you just go, look, we'll give you the best camera in the business for just $400. That's a pretty decent selling point, I think. And then, you know, they throw in like, we also got everything else the Pixel 3 and 3XL do. You just don't have quite the processor or display or that ugly ass notch. You know, the designs aren't going to wow anyone. They're plastic, which I'm kind of fine with because I hate all the glass.
Sure.
But
it'll be nice and light.
Yeah, it should be nice and light. They still look very pixely. They're, like you said, they're not super exciting. And I think it's because the Pixel 3 and 3XL have been out forever. And these are just sort of cheaper versions of those. They're not doing anything incredibly different. I think the price point with possibly adding the best camera in the business is probably a big selling point. And then the fact that they're going to sell these at probably almost every carrier. I don't know. AT&T is about the only one we don't know for sure, but we're pretty sure almost every other carrier is going to sell this phone. So I think Google has a chance to move a bunch. I think if somebody asks you what phone they should buy, and I think you and I often lean towards Google experiences. If these phones don't have a bunch of the performance issues that we've seen or something like that, which I know we won't know for a while, I think they could be a good recommendation because it's not a huge investment from people at $400, but you know, like you could recommend it and go, look, this phone's $400, but it's got the best camera you can find, or it has equally as good of a camera as like the iPhone XS, right? Or something like that. That's not a bad pitch. And it's not a bad phone to recommend to people where if it does end up sucking $400, they aren't out of, you know, their entire savings account. So
it's entirely possible that we've just been sort of spoiled, you know, by all these high-end devices. The Galaxy S10 Plus has everything under the sun, yet it costs, you know, $1,000 plus, $1,250 for the ceramic one. So maybe it's good. Maybe time to take a step back and be like, maybe I don't need the greatest of everything. Maybe I can live with a $400 phone. It's interesting. Not looking forward to it, but I'd certainly give it a try.
I think we'll probably take both of these things for a spin. One of the things I find weird though about them is 5.6 to 6 inches is not, it's like a huge jump.
It's not a huge difference.
I don't really understand why. And I know there's a battery difference in there, But you're
Why
basically
not just
getting
one budget phone?
yeah, you're getting this slight bump in display to get an extra battery bump, but is that worth it? Yeah, why not just have one? I know Motorola does like 17 versions of their G line all the time, and I can't ever tell which one you should buy. But this one seems a little weird. Like, why not have a 5-inch and a 6-inch or something like that? It seems like a missed opportunity there, and they just kind of seem way too similar. But I think they might be a decent idea if the price really is $399 to $479. I don't think that's a terrible price. I also think they're going to do a bunch of promos to give these things away and try to push them as heavily as they can. So again, I'm with you. I'm not super excited for me to like test one and play with one and use one unless like I get this thing in the hand and the performance is amazing for a mid-range-ish phone and then the camera's stupid good. You're going to kind of have to stop and go, all right, this is a little bit special. Like if you look at the Moto G7, we didn't test that, and I don't really need to because every other G phone was the same. They were budget phones with decent performance, simple software, and trash cameras. And I'm pretty sure the G7 is exactly there. And most budget phones, that's where they lack, is in the camera department. Like, that's why everyone, I think, got excited initially about the iPhone XRs, because they went, well, it's going to have a really great camera. And that was one of the reasons I think I like the S10e so much. And not that it's a budget phone. It's still $800, I think. But it still had the great camera. So Google's saying, all right, we'll go with the really low price and still give you a great camera. That's actually a decent pitch. So.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of agree with you there.
Again, it doesn't have to be exciting. I'm just saying it's a good move, I think, if you can do the camera.
For me, when I hear the term, budget phone and companies maybe getting into that space, I picture them going away forever. HTC started focusing on kind of that mid-tier budget devices. They still had a few high-end devices, don't get me wrong, but they focus more heavily on the budget. Same thing with Motorola. And neither of these companies we really talk a lot about anymore. I fear that, Google, they need to maybe focus. I don't know how big their team is or anything, but like, why not just focus on making one thing or two phones really special and not maybe spreading yourself too thin, putting assets, into places that don't really need it. I guess we're just going to have to find out how people react to these. I feel like we already know, though. People don't seem overly excited, at least in our community or on the internet in general. I mean, we gave everyone the Pixel 3a and Pixel 3a XL specs and details and features and all this stuff. And I'm not seeing like an overwhelming, like, oh my God, the budget Pixel's coming. No, like I just haven't seen a lot of excitement from anybody in the Android community. Maybe the regs out there on the streets who are going into those carrier stores are going to be like, oh yeah, like I wish there was a budget Pixel, but I don't talk to those people. Maybe I need to go out on the streets, take a little survey.
Yeah, I think the problem there is that we tend to care about the best of the best stuff, and our readers are mostly there, right? Best of the best stuff. So we care about the $700-800 phones, then we complain about those prices and stuff. This phone probably isn't for you and I, right? And it's not for most of our readers. Excuse me. But if they can do it right, it seems like a right move. You have to spread yourself out in between categories of phones, which is what Google's doing. To your point about when companies start going mid-range, it's funny because like HTC tried it. They tried to save the company by producing a bunch of mid-range phones, and it didn't work. But Motorola, like the G series and the E series,
most popular phone.
Yeah, in other countries is basically the reason they're still alive. I don't know that they've sold a bunch here, but in other countries, it works for them. And I think Huawei actually, when they were started on their rise, they were just selling tons and tons of like mid-range phones. So it works for some. It certainly, did not work for HTC. But Google's got to do it because, as you mentioned earlier, a report came out this week, right, that said, they admitted this week, I should say. They admitted in their earnings call that they sold less Pixel phones in Q1 of this year than they did of Q1 last year. So the Pixel 3 did not sell even as good as the Pixel 2 is basically what that means. And
well, there was no Panda.
That is true. There was no Panda. I don't know why that is. I thought, well, okay. I take that back. We've all seen what the Pixel 3 XL looks like, but for the most part, they're fine. I know there's been some performance issues that they still have not addressed, but I don't know that those usually make it into purchase decisions for most regular folk. I don't know if they know that stuff or not. Maybe they do.
Again, boring phones.
Kind of
Great
boring, yeah.
phones, boring phones when you're competing against Samsung or OnePlus with the 60. Like these companies have some exciting stuff going on. Google Pixel 3 XL, especially with that notch, it was just so behind the times.
So
it
bad.
felt like, I mean, it's a terrible design. It's ugly. We can be real about it.
As good
but
as
also,
the phone is, it's butt ugly.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Great phone, but ugly. Scott Washington made a point in the chat that I just wanted to touch on. He said, "Isn't this what people wanted from the Pixel line? Affordable, clean software phones." Actually, at least for me, like Pixel, when I think Pixel, I think those initial Pixel devices like the Pixel Slate or like that Pixel Chromebook, the Chromebook Pixel, ultra premium, like ultra tier hardware. Like that's what I think of. And I think an amazing Google software experience, good cameras, like high-end specs. I'm not getting that with 4 gigs of RAM, on the Pixel 3 XL and that notch. Display is very nice. The hardware is good in general, but to me, it's not the Pixel experience I want or I expect, especially, when you're getting up into that pricing. So Pixel to me could mean something different to you, but I just want it to be ultra premium and I want it to be like Google hardware, like really nice. And I just don't think the Pixel 3 and the 3 XL really touched on that, my opinion. Pixel 2 XL had that Panda black and white. I mean, like it was unique looking,
Had
and
that
everyone
blue tint to the screen.
Yeah, everyone gravitated towards that. The original Pixel, when it came in that blue, that was hot. That was different. It struck the eye pretty good. This Pixel 3 XL and Pixel 3 did none of that. If anything, it turned people away with that notch. And no one's gonna get the regular Pixel 3 over the XL. Come on. So
just this guy. Just this guy. Yeah, I mean, so the 3A and 3XL, they're just not necessarily for you and I. That's just the thing. I'm kind of a little bit looking forward to just reviewing one, just because I want to see if the camera really is great. Because I do want to know if someone asks us, because we do get asked every so often, like, I got $300 or I got $400 to spend. What should I buy? Should I go get like a year-old 2XL? And oftentimes we're like, yeah, sure, the 2XL at $400 is still a great phone. But if those people now can get a brand new phone with not blue tinted screens and modern specs that still takes better pictures, maybe even than that, like that's actually a good thing to be able to suggest to people. So again, it might not be for you and I, but I kind of get what Google's doing with it, but they have to really nail some of those parts.
Yeah. Dang, I had a good point. I missed it. That's okay. It'll come back to me. Real quick, didn't miss it. Muck Reimer with the $5 donation says Google needs a new CEO. Price and everything like Apple don't make sense. Pixel and the home stuff need to be lower price. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd go so far as to say they need a new CEO. Sundar seems to be doing pretty good. He's been having to deal with a lot of internal drama too. I mean, there's a whole workplace culture crisis going on at Google. Yeah. So I don't know if he has much time to think about the hardware that they're putting out, but and I want to go so far as to say they're pricing everything like Apple. Google does
the home
not.
Stuff's pretty reasonably priced.
To me, that's what I would say. It seems reasonable enough. I will say they need to figure out, stop the whole throwing everything at the wall, see what sticks type of approach. Their messaging system, this whole YouTube Music, Google Music thing needs to be sorted out. But these are all branches on the tree that is Google, right? So every person has their own project manager, etc. YouTube's is its own thing, basically. There's a lot of stuff that needs to go and needs to happen. But new CEO?
But I don't necessarily know that I agree with the home stuff being expensive. I feel like the home stuff's always like $50 off. Like right now, you can go buy a home hub for $99. I feel like that's a pretty good idea. The phones, I don't know that any of us love it. And we've talked about that a lot, just how going from Nexus to Pixel and those giant price hikes kind of threw us off for a little bit. But at this point, they're trying to put them in the premium tier. Just they can't put 4 gig RAM and stuff and expect people to pay a premium. So.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah. Other donos, Chaz dropped $2, said, I volunteer for the Atlanta Humane Society. Right on. I think he dropped that right after we were talking about where the donations are going. Donovan dropped $1. Cato dropped 20. Is this the Swedish krona again?
I do believe.
Missed the beginning, so say hi, Tim.
Hi.
Good stuff. So yeah, Pixel 3, I'm sorry, 3A, 3A XL. We're pretty sure they're going to be announced Tuesday, and we should hopefully have them right away so we can share real thoughts with you. Basically, I'm just going to get one and take 1,000 pictures and go, look, I'll bring this, the regular Pixel 3 and the 3A, and I'm just going to run around going snap, 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 and go, all right, the camera's good. You're good. Buy it for $400.
I figured out what I was going to say.
Oh boy, here we go.
Whatever we're doing with the Pixel 3A, 3A XL, we got to hurry up because I'm more excited about the OnePlus 7 Pro, to be completely honest.
Which we're going to talk about right now. Sure.
Yes, good time.
Is that a transition?
Yeah, a bad one, but yeah.
Jackson just dropped $2 though, said go help those puppers. So we're going to try to
critters.
Yep. If you joined us late, we announced at the beginning of the show that for the next 2 months, any donations that roll in are going to the Oregon Humane Society. So if you want to donate, they're going to 100%. We're just giving them all to Oregon Humane Society for the next 2 months. So anyway, if you missed that, that's what Jackson is talking about. All right, OnePlus 7 Pro. So let's see. OnePlus they've talked about this phone quite a bit now, actually, in public. Last week we talked about it. They mentioned the display. They confirmed the names. We know it's going to be announced May 14th. There's an event in New York City. So this week they posted... I'll save the really good one. But this week they posted an ad in the New York Times. And then they sent camera samples, I think, to Wired UK. Wired? One of the Wireds.
You got it.
And then DisplayMate shared some stuff. So the New York Times ad showed sort of an X-ray vision of the phone. And on the back, you can see like the triple cameras, the whole shape of it. And you can see embedded in it is a little camera that will pop up. So that's basically confirmed that we're going to have a triple camera on the back, a pop-up front camera. And then in one of the shots where it's kind of more of an exploded X-ray version, the display has no notch, no punch out, hole punch. And I think one of the notes on the ad actually said like no notches, no something. Let me see if I can find that. Where is it?
Yeah.
It's actually kind of a weird ad. It says no bells and whistles, no bezel, no notch, no app leg, no bloatware, no $2,000 price tag, no random music. So yeah, no notch, and then there's no hole punch there either. So
there's actually a lot of bells and whistles, just considering pop-up camera, 3 cameras. There's a lot of bells and whistles. What are they talking about? Like a phone should have bells and whistles. It's not a bad thing to have bells and whistles. Since when is it a bad thing to have bells and whistles?
Well, that was like exactly what I said when I looked at it. I went, what do you mean? Bells and whistles are good. Bells and whistles mean you're getting stuff, like extra
for
stuff.
your money.
And I get they're saying like it's just minimal. We're not putting a bunch of garbage in there, but bells and whistles is not the right word there. They should say like no extra garbage. Like bells and whistles just means it doesn't have anything. Like you're just not getting stuff, which I think is a weird way. But the no bezel, no notch, no app leg, no blower, I like that. I don't know. What's the no random music mean? Do you know? What is that?
It must be a knock on Apple when they gave Bon Jovi to everybody and no one wanted Bon Jovi.
Or U2. That's right.
Or U2, excuse me. Yeah, U2.
And no $2,000 price tag is just silly. Like, of course there's no $2,000 price tag. The only phone that's $2,000 is the Galaxy Fold, which is already like dead. So that's just silly. Anyway, they put this ad out. Before we keep going though, so Scott McDonald just dropped $50. $50 Dono said, Dono's going to Humane Society. I like dogs more than people, so here you go.
Amen,
that
brother.
is fantastic, Scott. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Scott. They're gonna love you.
Yes.
It'll be from Droid Life and Scott.
That's ridiculously awesome, dude. Thank you so much. All right. So
thank you.
Yes, thank you. That is huge. Huge. So they showed off this ad, revealed, that sort of stuff. They sent some samples, some camera samples, showing off the 3x zoom. So that's confirmed now. There's a 3x zoom in the phone, HDR, a night mode. So they showed off all these things. They looked like they were at some sort of like IndyCar race, or what is this, Formula One or something? I don't know the difference. Maybe Formula One.
That's definitely Formula One. Oh my God. So non-cultured.
Yeah, no, I just don't do race cars.
I don't do race cars. I'm sorry. That's funny. Okay.
So the pictures look really nice, I would say. It's kind of hard. Like, we're not obviously there to know if these are accurate representations of what we're seeing, but like the pictures of the cars and stuff, they're not like wildly over contrasted and oversaturated and all of that stuff. They just look like good shots. So it's tough to say like, yeah, this camera is going to be amazing looking at these, not knowing any of the criteria here. But so they shared those. So we know 3x zoom, HDR, night mode. We've seen the X-ray shots. DisplayMate, on the other hand. So a week ago, OnePlus told Verge that we have this breakthrough display, and I think they said, did they say it was going to be Quad HD, or is that still just a rumor? I think they maybe said that. Their first Quad HD, I believe they told The Verge. So DisplayMate, who reviews or analyzes displays, mostly Samsung and Apple at this point, because everyone else uses garbage displays. But they've always said Samsung for the last, I feel like, 8 years or something, that Samsung has the best display in mobile, depending on all of the stuff they test for. And then it's and they just top each other with every new phone. They go, DisplayMate goes, oh, they have the best display ever. So DisplayMate sent this one single tweet that said, in-depth lab tests of the OnePlus 7 Pro OLED display have just been completed, earning our highest A+ display rating. And that's all they said. They're going to reveal the full thing on the 14th. So
display nerds.
Yeah, so we heard that there's a breakthrough, and DisplayMate says, highest A+ rating ever.
What could this breakthrough be?
I mean, we're just assuming it's got to be the refresh rate or something, right? I mean, it's an OLED. There's no notch or hole punch. Right. I mean, like, but maybe it is to OnePlus, I guess. I don't know.
Well, maybe for OLED it is. I know that the LCD on the RAZR Phone 2 has 120.
Oh, yeah,
so I guess
it's that.
Yeah, maybe it's an OLED flex.
Maybe it's the first OLED with something higher than 60. Maybe that's
which I
what
get,
it is.
Which is cool. Although, is that 90 hertz? Brett Wright, he was just asking, is that 90 hertz refresh rate OLED? Even though Asus did it already, I have no idea. I haven't touched an Asus phone in years, so I assume it's some type of refresh rate. If it is that reported 90 hertz, though, I'm a little disappointed that it's not 120. I don't know if the human eye is really going to be able to pick up too much on the Android phone, just with that slight increase to 90 hertz over 60.
Yeah, because you said the 120 on those RAZR phones was noticeable. Like, you could tell it looks great, right?
You scroll through Twitter or something like that at 120 hertz. You can see it, and you can feel it. It just feels smooth. So 90 hertz, don't quite know yet. It's totally possible. I actually think you can scale the RAZR Phone 2 down to 90. I've got it somewhere. I'll boot it up and turn it to 90. I'm pretty sure you can. 60, 90, 120. So I'll check it out. But again, 90, I don't know. I want to go throwing out words like breakthrough, no bells and whistles. Also, Eli Kuznikov in the chat, he was saying, iPhones have bell notifications and all Samsungs have that terrible whistle notification sound. I've actually never heard the Samsung whistle notification sound. Oh, maybe.
It's the worst.
I always change it, I guess, maybe. I don't know.
You'll know if you're in public that someone doesn't know how to change that stuff, because you get that. I can't it's one of the my least favorite noises ever.
I went to try and find it right now. I wonder. Well, there's a ringtone. I guess it would be a notification sound.
It's a notification sound, yeah. It's the bird whistle, yeah. It's really bad.
Oh. I'm not seeing anything like that.
Brandon in the chat says, how much did OnePlus pay for that rating? I don't know how DisplayMate works, but they don't seem to analyze. Pretty legit. Well, they don't seem to analyze every display. It seems like they've been doing Samsung for a really long time. Like, they made a name for themselves by analyzing Samsung and saying they were the best over Apple. And I think we've seen I think Google's has maybe been done recently. But for OnePlus to get an A+ rating beforehand, it seems like OnePlus here, tell us how we can make this the best ever. This is totally conspiracy theory, Kellen. But the fact that they're announcing this before as part of the hype for OnePlus, you just kind of go, all right, it doesn't seem completely legit. There's, you gave him this phone early. He helped you tweak it or whatever to make it so it has this great rating. I don't know. I'm kind of with Brandon on that. It seems slightly fishy.
I think you guys are crazy.
Anyway, either way, I'm fine with it having a great display if it truly does have one, because great displays are fabulous to have.
Yeah. Either way, I'm excited. I am in no way going to recommend anyone buy this phone simply because we know, and we don't know, but we assume a better version, the OnePlus 7 Protein, as I'm calling it, will be coming out later this year, which will build upon the supposed awesomeness of the OnePlus 7 Pro. So the OnePlus 7 Protein coming later this year will probably be legit. It will have bells and whistles, and it's gonna be awesome. So maybe hold off on this one. I don't know. I gotta at least practice what I preach, right? I'm the one who always saying like, don't buy this one. So, but I'll probably get it anyway, just because like I'm liking what I see so far. It looks a lot like a Galaxy S10 Plus, but without that display cutout on the front. I like that. I like the idea of the pop-up camera. I got a good feeling about this one.
So
Real good
speaking
feeling.
of no display cutout, so Ishan Agarwal, I hope I'm saying his name right. He's a dude on Twitter that leaks a lot of stuff. He posted photos or press images of the OnePlus 7 Pro, and it shows that full display, no punch, no notch. So we know there's a pop-up selfie camera in what is it, nebula blue and mirror gray. So we've got grayish, sort of black, which is kind of like what we had last year. And then this sort of like dark to semi-lighter faded blue color called Nebula Blue. And the bezels look super trim, assuming those are legit, right? Because we've seen renders like this in the past where it shows no bezel, and then you get the phone, you're like, that was a lie.
Yeah, this thing has bezel.
Yeah, that's a lie. So he posted these renders. I mean, they look legit, and they show a OnePlus phone with a curved display. Which
Very Samsung.
Yeah, very Samsung-y.
It actually looks a lot like a Huawei. Like the P30, P20 series from last year. Looks a lot like the Huawei, which some could argue look a lot like a Samsung phone. So I don't really care what it looks like. It is similar to a Galaxy S10 look.
Yeah, looks like a slight camera hump there, so no flush camera like LG. LG's still the only one that did it. I want more flush cameras.
Give me flush.
I want more flush cameras. So slight little camera up there, the 3 cameras, OnePlus logo. It looks nice. I mean, it looks like a OnePlus phone with a giant display and no punches or anything. So that should be fun to use. In the US anyway, we haven't had yet a phone with no punch, notch, anything, and a pop-up camera. Because it was kind of like an Oppo. I can't remember the other company. You know, they were basically like China only releases. So this will be our first one, which is going to be fun.
It's going to be dope.
Little
maybe
just the camera going up and down.
Wah.
So those are the big OnePlus 7 news for the week. Again, May 14th. So we got 11 days. So next week got I/O, and then right after I/O is OnePlus 7 week. Fantastic.
Got to pump out those Pixel 3a reviews, the Pixel 3a meh review, Pixel 3 meh. Yeah, there it is. Pixel 3 meh. Yeah. And I did see that we got another donation. Pretty sure we did not. From Tech Matter, $10. And he says, or they say, don't like to assume, Humane Society for the win. Yes.
Hell yeah.
Completely agree with that.
Thank you so much. Fantastic.
Yeah, you guys are just so cool.
You guys are killing it today. I can't wait actually to get to the 2 months so we can show you guys like the
just
amount,
how much,
because I think you're gonna be shocked at
guys
how
are.
much money you guys have actually given. It's gonna be awesome
to
hit that donate link on their site and give all that cash away. So
we're gonna buy a lot of dog food.
Whatever they need to use it for, right? Whatever they need to use it for.
I guess.
Could just be dog food. Maybe that's just all they need right now.
Maybe that's what they need. Yeah, we don't know. I refuse to go to places like that just because I'm so very an animal person. I get depressed. Yep.
I'm with you on that.
Too sad.
So we'll just give them all the money we can.
Yeah.
All right. So over last weekend, these images surfaced on Weibo, which is like it's like the Chinese Facebook, right? Sort of. Like it's basically like a message board more. I guess it's more of like.
I think it's more like Twitter.
Okay, maybe whatever. I'm not super familiar with it because every time I try to log in, it doesn't translate well, and I lose my login and all of that stuff. Anyway, so Weibo, it's a huge platform over there. Let's just say that. And somebody posted images. It's what?
I was just saying it's Weibo, but
it's Weibo. It's not Weibo.
No, see, I have no idea. I'm making a reference to Huawei because they had to make a whole video about, hey, here's how you pronounce our name.
So maybe
Sorry.
it's Weibo. Maybe
Could
it
be
is
Weibo.
That's a good point. The Huawei. Maybe it's Weibo. Maybe I'm saying it wrong.
I have no idea. Sorry.
Either way. No, that's a good point. It could be Weibo. I'm going to call it Weibo now. So these images surfaced over there. Someone saying like, look at this. It's the Motorola RAZR, the foldable flip phone. And there's no way to tell for sure if these are real. No one's shot them down yet, as far as I know, as being fake. And they're like well put together renders. They show this like triangular box. They show like an unboxing and like the phone possibly in a stand, and like all the cables and headphones that might come with it and covers. And it's a very unique packaging experience. The phone isn't totally folded or anything. Like, it's tough to tell if these are actually the real deal. However, if they are, although this is rumored to cost $1,500, this thing looks badass. You're like, I don't want any part of this thing.
Nah, this ain't it, Chief.
See, I think like...
This looks fake.
You think it looks fake?
Super fake. Just me, though.
I don't actually know that it looks that fake. If it's fake, whoever did it is like a really nice concept designer, and they spent a lot of time. And so if it is fake, like they did a good job, and props to them. I'm just saying, if like it turns out to be this, I'm totally down with this style. Like the Galaxy Fold, well, we know it's got problems, and I'm just assuming the Huawei phone that folds is going to have problems too. This thing looks like it'll be more compact, smaller, and then unfold into a big phone. Like, yeah, like the old school RAZRs. One of the things I have a little bit of an issue with the Fold and the Huawei phone is there's supposed to be a phone that folds into a tablet, or a tablet turns into a phone. Well, what if I don't need a tablet? What if I just want a phone? So I'd rather have something compact that then just turns into a bigger phone than the tablet version, if that makes sense. So that's why I hope like this is sort of what it looks like, because it looks like the old school RAZR. And if it folds like this into a compact little guy that I can stash in a pocket and pull out and open, I think that's the implementation. Anyway, there's no way to tell if that's real, but we shared it because it looked absolutely fabulous.
It does look cool. I'll give you that.
It does look cool. All right, we have Wear OS news.
What?
I cannot believe
what's
we have Wear
that?
OS news. I know, right? So Google,
Android Wear?
This is actually a cool thing and also terrible for the future of Wear OS, but yeah, Android Wear OS. So Google I/O is next week. Google already announced whatever they're working on for Wear OS this week, which means they have zero plans to talk about Wear OS next week, is my assumption. And that's just not a good sign for Wear OS. However, what they announced was called Tiles. They're basically like little widgets or information cards that you can swipe through on your Wear OS watch now. Very much like you've been able to do on Tizen watches from the beginning. You know, like if you ever used a Samsung Tizen watch, you just swipe from the right to the left, and you just get like health cards and calendar cards and weather cards and all this stuff, right? Google is now basically just copying that idea, which is fine. We should just admit that they're copying that idea. And I think Apple has kind of done the same thing with their watch. So Google's copying both of them. At this point, and I was going to try to bring it up on this watch. I know it's going to be impossible to see. Oops. At this point, there's almost no cards. So you're not going to be able to see. Nope, it already went to sleep. Okay, we won't try to show that. So basically what they are is you swipe over and there's like weather cards and Google Fit cards, and there's one for Google News. And in their announcement post, they showed one for the New York Times. So there's no apps that do this yet, other than just a handful of things that are there. So it's kind of an interesting idea they're adding on, but it seems really late in the fact that I don't know if anyone's ever going to add support for this, but it is rolling out now. So if you own a Wear OS watch, update your Wear OS app on your phone, which should then update on your watch, which should then deliver you Tiles. It's not a system update. It's just like an app UI update for the most part, but not good, right? I mean, next week is I/O, and they announced it this week, which means like, let's just get this out of the way.
Well, yeah, because
so we
it's
never have to talk about it again.
Because who cares?
Yeah,
it's really not that big of a change, like you said. It's not
all.
System related or anything. It's whatever. And if that's all they got to announce for Wear OS, so be it. I mean, it's a failed platform.
It really
I'm not afraid to say it.
It really is a failed platform.
The only person selling anything is Fossil, I think,
and they're starting to lose their market share. Yeah,
and maybe you might be one of, I don't know, 5-10 people tops who bought a Mont Blanc Sommier 2.
Oh, yeah, right.
I mean, it's a sick watch. Don't get me wrong, but it's $1,000. So, come on.
Yeah. But just don't expect anything about Wear OS next week at I/O, which is unfortunate.
I guess it's unfortunate. I keep waiting. It's not that I don't want Wear OS to be dope. I want it to be dope.
That's the thing.
It's just not dope.
Yeah. As I keep going, all right, you got another chance, Google, let's do it. And then they just go, here's a little bit of news so you guys won't talk about it. And moving on. It's like, come on, you guys.
It's unfortunate.
Jordan Shepard dropped $2 and saying what's up and helping those pups.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jordan. Appreciate that. All right, we got a little bit of Facebook news, which I never like to talk about because they are a terrible platform. It's hard to write up stories about Facebook knowing like
they help put Trump in office.
Well, not just that. Not just that.
I
mean, like
I'm trying to make it political.
The like privacy leak and like issues they run into, and like the way they run their platform is just so gross and like.
Sure.
And I know we talk about Google tracking everything. Like Facebook seems so bad about all of it, and then whenever they get caught doing something, it's like seems like usually a cover up, or they don't really want to come forward with it, or then when they do, they just go, yeah, we've always taken care of this. Like they banned a bunch of people from their platforms this week, right? And they were like, we've always done the right thing with this, and everyone's like, the conspiracy folks you just banned who've been doing this stuff for years and telling people that Sandy Hook children didn't die, like you just now you didn't want to ban them like 8 years ago. Anyways, I'll get off that soapbox. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is it's hard to like write stuff about Facebook because I really just do not like them as a platform. That said, they announced Mark Zuckerberg stood on stage this week at their F8 concert with a giant screen behind him that said, "We care about privacy," or something like that, or "the future is private." That's what it said. Like the future is private. He's just standing there like, I'm really a privacy advocate. Everyone, I think, just laughed in his face. Like, you are the worst person ever to sit here and talk about privacy. So what they announced, though, was like Facebook Messenger will be all private and encrypted now. I think they announced that. It's tough to fully understand where they were going there. But they said, like, they're updating the app and it's getting a fancier UI and it'll be much faster and a lighter app and all that stuff. So that's coming later this year, and they're going to have a desktop app, which will also come later this year. And then they also announced a new UI look for the Facebook app in general, which is just much whiter now with blue accents instead of blue with some white. And they're going to focus more on groups, which makes sense because, well, that's what I think almost anyone uses Facebook for now is groups, I think. At least my wife is in like 800 groups, and that's how she does things on Facebook. But I think groups are the thing. So they're doing that. That's about all I have to say about Facebook. You got anything to add there?
Well, I guess I could just tell a story about Facebook. This is how hipster I am. I joined Facebook when you still needed a .edu email address to join.
Oh, I remember those days.
Yeah, and those were good times. It was just people sharing pictures. It really wasn't like a very political or news sharing site or anything. There weren't a lot of brands hadn't taken it over yet.
Yeah.
And I really miss those days. Facebook now is just, it sucks. Like, it's toxic.
Yeah.
It's nothing but my mom posting political commentary, and she is by no means a political scientist. It's just really a tough place to be. However, Messenger is awesome.
Messenger is actually really good on the platform, but yeah.
I still love chat heads. I think they've got one of the best messaging platforms, and there were a few iterations of it that weren't very great, but this latest one that is a lot more minimal, I would say, where it's just like 3 sections. Yeah. You got your chats and your story or whatever. Yeah. It's not a bad platform. And I know if one day you and we may just officially switch off of Hangouts and probably go over to Facebook Messenger. Doesn't mean I have to go on my timeline and look at all that toxic nonsense. I like their platform, messaging platform.
The messaging side was actually pretty good. And the reason you say that we might have to leave Hangouts at some point to do that is because Google's messaging platforms all over are all terrible.
Terrible.
Like, you and I need to talk constantly throughout a day for work and stuff, and we can't do that on, well, we can still do it on Hangouts for now because it hasn't died yet, but we can't do that on like text messaging. I mean, I guess we could. You and I could send 8,000 messages to each other a month on text messaging.
Yeah. Well, Facebook, screw it.
There's a Discord mention in there. We could always switch to Discord, I guess.
Oh, Discord. It's so pretentious
We could
over
switch
there.
to, speaking of pretentious, why don't we switch to Slack, Tim? Why don't we
Oh
switch to
yeah,
Slack?
Slack.
All of our colleagues in the industry love Slack.
I know.
Let's talk about Slack all day on Twitter. Hate Slack. It's probably great. It's probably a great app.
Sean Tillman says, "Do you really trust Messenger end-to-end encryption? I trust
No.
Facebook like I trust the creators of Fire Festival.
I'm with you, Sean.
I trust Ja Rule. He seems like a very trustworthy individual. Would I use a messenger service he put out? Unlikely. Fire messages? No, I wouldn't. But
You're right, Sean. It's tough to trust anything that Facebook tells you.
yeah. And Scott Washington says, y'all don't use your Discord? No, like we use Discord. It's just I don't know if I would use like as an
No, he's
IM
saying
service.
like the one we set up. Like we have a Droid Life community on Discord that there was like 4 people in there, so it just kind of died.
Not true. It's a healthy I wouldn't say thriving. It's a healthy community.
Sure, I haven't looked at it in about 4 months, so it's good to know though.
But yeah,
Anyway, that's Facebook news. Big news.
it's murder. Ja Rule is awesome, man.
Ja Rule was awesome for a while. And then 50 Cent came and
Just
dominated him.
killed him. That's too
Poor
bad.
Ja.
That's unfortunate.
Poor Ja. All right, final topic. We ran a question this week that just said, what was your first smartphone? And my first smartphone, I believe, was the BlackBerry Curve.
BlackBerry Curve.
And then the BlackBerry Tour, and then OG Droid. That was like my progression into Android. It was BlackBerry Curve, Tour, OG Droid. But technically, Curve, yeah.
That's a solid evolution into the world of smartphones, I'd say.
Yeah.
For me, the first technical smartphone was the LG Voyager,
That's
the
not a
V,
smartphone.
the V2020. It was labeled as a smartphone when I bought it.
Which is such a lie.
It was even labeled an iPhone killer by a few publications back in the day. And
Fantastic.
yeah, the lie detector determined that was a lie.
Imagine writing that. Like, you should not be
with
allowed
a
to work
straight
in tech
face
anymore.
Yeah, you should be fired. We need to bring back public stoning.
LG Voyager.
Public stonings. For anyone who called the Voyager the iPhone killer.
I'm going to tell you right now who wrote it.
iPhone killer?
Verizon must have been claiming that.
They marketed it like Verizon killer, but then so a lot of people were using that in their headlines. And then
that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just Verizon was saying that, because that's right, they didn't have the iPhone yet, so they were any phone that came
Any
out,
phone
they
that was
said,
a killer.
"Oh, this is gonna kill the iPhone."
Yeah. Not great. But of course, so after the V2020, I got my first OG Droid. I was watching, the baseball, the postseason. The ad came on. And it said Droid, and I was like, oh shit, there you go. That's what I wanted to get. I didn't even know what it was. I had never heard of Android. I was not even into tech. I was still doing music and stuff, and yeah, world changed obviously for me.
What a great early campaign that was.
It was the best.
Yeah, because they basically said like, look, this is badass, and they made it like this like cool, like mean, like, yeah, your iPhone sucks and we're gonna kick your ass kind of thing. And it like did a pretty good job of it. I mean, it was really the first phone to compete with the iPhone, and it started off the Android versus Apple wars. And in the post that you wrote up, you shared the video from Android developers with the like light show of the globe that shows Android adoption for like 10 years. And like they do this countdown in November of 2009 when that phone was released. And
Android just exploded.
Yeah, Android in the US anyway just explodes up because everyone bought that phone, which is pretty cool to watch.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. Love that phone. A lot of HTC Incredibles in the post, in the comments.
A lot of Incredibles.
Yeah, because that was the phone right after, right? The OG Droid was the Incredible. And I remember when Droid Life started, it was just OG Droid. And when the Incredible came out, like I picked one up and we started talking about it a little bit. Like people were mad. They were like, "What are you talking about this Incredible for? Like this is Motorola Droid blog." And we're just like, "It's cool though. It's a cool phone." And the specs on the Incredible and the camera and all that stuff actually topped the Droid pretty substantially. And it had like the little scroll pad stuff. It was cool.
Of course. Yeah. As Eli Kuznikov points out, there were a lot of smartphones before Android and iOS. Yes. It's up to you if you want to count them. We're just asking simply, what was your first smartphone? I mean, literally, I did not get a smartphone until the OG Droid. So that's just my story.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything before.
Yeah,
I was
didn't
a
have
baby.
a Palm anything. I didn't have any of those Windows phones. I was also a baby when those were coming out. Like that's why the BlackBerry Curve was my first smartphone.
I was rocking them flip phones for a while. I was rocking whatever my mom would buy me.
Yeah.
Like that's how young I was.
Yeah.
So
I went through some bad phones too.
We all did.
Yeah.
I had one. Oh man, what was that? I'm sure everyone knows what it looks like. I think LG made it. So it had like a square display, and then it had like a flippy, and underneath the flippy is where the keyboard was. I could probably Google it, but that was not a smartphone. It did have like a camera attachment, which I thought was cool, like a portable.
First modular.
Yeah, it was totally modular, and it was terrible. I mean, the quality, it was like 1.2 megs or something.
Sure.
Either way, so we got a couple of donations from Brian Persia for 99 cents. Thank you so much. Going to go straight to the Oregon Humane Society. And then, Big Bomb Donovan with the $20. Thank you so much, you guys, for the donations. It's awesome. I can't wait till we get to donate it and see how much we get.
Yeah, what a fabulous start to our 2-month donation tour here. Travis mentioned the LG chocolate. Remember the chocolate? And there was the white chocolate that came out with the white, but those were not smartphones either.
I mean,
they were just like fabulous old phones. I didn't have either of those. I remember I kind of wanted one at one point.
Eli Kuznikov says we're about the same age. No, wait, dude. I'm like, what? I'm 15, 16. What are you? I'm young.
That's funny.
All right.
So anyway, there's a post at the site if you want to go read through everyone's first smartphones or add your own or anything like that. It's just kind of fascinating to see which phones were first. That does mean it's time. Trivia time. That's the last topic we had. So trivia time. Tim's got the lights going. I could smell the meat on the grill.
Ooh, meter.
Oh, meter time. It's trivia time. For those of you new around here, it's the end of the show, so we do DL Show trivia at the end of every show. We have 5 questions. We'll put one question at a time up on the screen. Tim will read it to you. If you're watching live and listening along on YouTube, you hit that chat and you answer with the correct answer as fast as you can. And
12.
And the first person to answer correctly is the winner. And Tim and I just look at our screen and who shows up first on it. So apologies if your screen shows something different. You just have to go with what we tell you because that's just how this works.
Yeah, we got some tough questions in here today.
Oh, toughies.
Yeah, just a couple of toughies. I mean, these are meters, man.
They are meters. So yeah, my reference to smelling the meat on the grill was actually because we're giving away meters. So we're giving away meter thermometers, smart thermometers. We should call them smart thermometers.
Yeah, smart meat thermometers.
Fabulous prize. The guys at Meter have given us a bunch of these over the years to give away. So we got 5 of them. So everyone that wins today gets a meter, which is
nice.
Which is fantastic. All right, everyone ready? Everyone
gosh,
ready?
I hope so because they're out of time. All right. You had me at Meat Tornado. Yes, Ron Swanson. He is the man. All right, question number 1, please.
Question number 1 is going up now.
What month of 2014 did the original Moto 360 launch? Again, what month of 2014 did the original Moto 360 launch? Easily the greatest Android Wear device of all time.
We need a month, folks. Ooh.
Need a month. Oh, I see it.
I think I saw
all
it
right.
too.
I'm seeing the correct answer from Nikhil Rathi.
Looking. Yes, September.
September is the correct answer. Nikhil, congratulations. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Nikhil Rathi was September. There's a whole bunch of months thrown out there, but that was the first September. Some Novembers in there, some 2012s, which is not a month in there. Nikhil Rathi, stick around to the end of the show. You are getting a fabulous meter.
And before we forget, Brett Montgomery with the $2 dono with the puppet dog emoji and the paws. Thank you so much.
I love that.
Love it. All right. Question number 2, please.
Question number 2 is up now.
In what year did Verizon and Motorola partner to relaunch the RAZR brand featuring the Android OS? Again, in what year did Verizon and Motorola partner to relaunch the RAZR brand featuring the Android OS?
Ooh, I saw one.
I did. Is that Travis
Scrolling up.
Chafin.
Yep, Travis Chafin, 2011.
Yes.
So some people dropped 2009. We weren't talking about the OG Droid. It was kind of a tricky little question. We just transitioned from OG Droid into the RAZR. Yeah, they rebirthed the RAZR. This will be like the third. If the RAZR comes back, this is like the third or fourth time Motorola and Verizon have tried to do this. So Travis Chafin, 2011.
Congratulations. You got yourself a sweet meter smart meat thermometer. Oh, I'm loving it. All right. Sorry, Scott, with the trickery. All right, question number 3, please.
Sorry, I was just looking back. All right, question number 3, going up now.
What processor powered the Nexus 6, aka Shamu?
The whale.
Again, what processor powered the Nexus 6? Oh my gosh, you guys are so fast. Eddie Daniels?
Eddie Daniels with the 805.
Eddie Daniels, congratulations.
Eddie Daniels with the Snapdragon 805.
Very nice.
Correct. TIO map. TIO map will go down in history as being the most well-known, old school, and worst processor ever.
Oh, okay. Hateful. All right, congratulations, Eddie.
Nice job, Eddie.
Question number 4, please.
Number 4 going up now.
Which model of OnePlus phone was the first to feature ceramic hardware? Again, which model of OnePlus phone was the first to feature ceramic hardware?
Come on, people. Oh, there we go. I saw it. Oh,
Corey.
It just blew up.
Yeah, it did. Was that Corey with the correct answer of the X, the OnePlus X?
Corey with no last name. Yep, Corey with the
Corey.
face and blue background avatar. Corey.
Congratulations, Corey.
The OnePlus X was ceramic. I wish they would bring the ceramic back. I really wish they would. And ditch the glass, but probably not gonna happen. Corey, just Corey, no last name. I think you know who we're talking about, Corey. There he is. Yep, he says, "Yo."
Very nice.
You are the one. Congrats on that.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people with the right answer, but Corey was first on our screens. Better luck next time. All right, so here's the
says my latency sucks. Yeah, that's the thing.
It's possible.
We look at the chat. What Tim and I see is the exact same thing, and I assume we have the fastest feed because we're the host. So if yours just shows something different, it just probably has to do with the way you're connected to everything. Sorry.
I'll give you 10 seconds to refresh your window right now.
You want to do a quick refresh, get this last one ready. Corey says, "Got to get that fiber." That's right, Corey. Got to get that
fiber. Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine how frustrating it may be, if you're on that slower connection or you got bad latency to us.
As Sean said, 144p if you need to. Whatever you got to do. Whatever you got to do.
Yep.
Or just type 12. That always works.
Well, sometimes.
I'm on fiber and 144, Scott McDonald says.
And still,
that's tough.
That is tough. Yeah, get that 5GE from AT&T. Yeah, they have the best speeds, so. All right, here we go. Last question. It's a toughie, and it's sort of a rangy one. You'll figure it out once we post it, but good luck.
Do they need the range?
The range would be great, but I will take any number within this set range.
Okay, it's good to establish that. All right.
Yes.
Ready?
All right, I'm ready. Question number 5, please.
Question number 5 up now.
What is the ideal temperature range for a mid-rare steak? Again, what is the ideal temperature range for a mid-rare steak? So we got 2 temperatures, and I'm looking for a range in between. Okay, thankfully, I think I saw it. It exploded. Jackson Neitert?
Yeah.
Neitert?
130.
With the 130. So we're looking for that range from 130 to 135 degrees Fahrenheit.
And we're going to take anything in that range.
And we're taking anything in that range.
Jackson at 130 first.
Yep. Jackson, congratulations. Jackson Neitert, the man, the myth, the legend.
130. And look, if your comment got held for review, we're looking at those. We can see all those as well. Like if you just don't see your comment show up, trust us, we see all those. Jackson's still first with 130.
Congratulations to our winners. Nikhil Rathi Travis Chafin. Sorry if I can't pronounce right. Eddie Daniels, that's a great name for pronunciation. Corey, another super easy name. And Jackson Neitert, not so easy. But every 5 of you, congratulations. I am going to put my email address in the chat, and you're going to email me.
Email Tim. He's dropping that right now. So all 5 of y'all, email Tim. And we'll get you your meter.
Your fantastic prize. And then use it. Post it to social media. Feel free to tag me or Droid Life, and because I can't wait to see it and like it.
I actually love pictures of steak on a grill, burgers.
Me too.
Chicken.
It doesn't get
whatever.
Like,
just cook it up. Send me the
it's
pics.
Just so American.
Yeah.
So real quickly, I want to talk about the Blazers. I think we're gonna go up 2-1 tonight. That's just me. That's my prediction.
I got no predictions. I'm just excited that they stole one and not even steal one. They played like ass, and Denver also played like ass, and so they took one on Denver's court. And coming back home, and just feeling good to be back home with the home court now in our hands.
We got this. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling confident.
Well, Friday night Blazers action. Plenty of beer during, before, and after, more than likely. Yes. So if you guys are watching, watch out for Kellen's Twitter feed.
Shout out to Arya Stark. And yeah, that's about all I got to say. Awesome. And thank you guys so much for the donations. Again, all donations today and moving forward for the next 2 months are going to go straight to the Oregon Humane Society. We can't wait to do that. And
I mean, there's like over $100 already going to the Oregon Humane Society, which is fantastic.
You're all awesome.
So if you missed the beginning of the show, we said all donations are coming for the next 2 months. So that's hopefully like 6, 7, 8 shows worth or something like that. We're giving 100% of the donations that you guys drop to the Oregon Humane Society. And Brett Montgomery just dropped $4. Says, thanks, you guys. Love the show. Thank you, Brett. Really appreciate that. So fantastic start to that. I can't wait. Yeah, to see what we can give to the folks at Oregon Humane Society. So yeah, thank you guys so much for all the support. And Corey just dropped $5. Little sunglass emoji, smiley face.
Thank you, sir.
Brandon Fisher says weekly shows. Well, we're trying. This is 2 weeks in a row, Brandon. Actually,
not bad.
We probably will for sure though, because next week's IO and new Pixel, so we'll want to talk about those. And then following week is OnePlus 7. So you probably get like 4 or 5 shows in a row at least. We might do the full 2 months straight. I mean, that would be a big thing for us, because I know we skip out a little bit here and there, but we got a lot of stuff going on in the Android world right now, which is fabulous.
And I promise, one question, one day, the answer will be 12. I won't tell you what day, but one day the answer will be 12. Guaranteed.
I mean, one of these days we are going to slip that in.
Yeah, just for fun.
All right, cool. All right, well, thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a fabulous weekend. Be safe out there. And we will see you next week at Google I/O.
Peace.
Peace.